Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Personality Typing Practice with CS Joseph System. Again, if you haven't watched the last two videos, so I'm using CS Joseph System on personality typing. He does Jungian typology, so if you want to check him out, I'll have a link to his channel and his website down in the description. Um, so this template and the system was not made by me, it was made by him, and I'm just using whatever he's presented to practice typing people that he's already typed. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type someone that he's already typed, and then I'm going to cross-reference with them to make sure that um, whatever I type the person as is accurate or not. And then that way, like, I'll get better and better as I keep practicing over and over again. And I'll try to explain my thought process while I'm typing someone. And then I'll review it at the end and see where I went wrong and where I didn't go wrong. So, with that being said, let's get into it. I think we're gonna do Ashley Johnson. Yeah. Last of Us. I have not played that game or seen that game yet, but I know it's really good. Yeah, let's just start with this interview.
Between shooting Blind Spot in New York and working on The Last of Us Part 2 in Los Angeles.
I know this is my favorite suit. You left earlier than I did this morning, and I saw that you were wearing a tie. So I was like, oh, I'll dress up a little bit. I know that that's what you do on this show.
Yeah.
Talking about what he does and what he does on the show. That's Fire and Wind.
But I didn't realize we were going to be matching.
I love it.
We didn't mean to do this.
Yes, we did. We spent hours.
She seems initiative.
I spent hours.
You're my density. That was also another amazing rehearsal process where I was with the director and the writer, Eric Schlosser, who's this incredible author and has written amazing books, Reefer Madness. He wrote Fast Food Nation and also wrote the script. And we had intense rehearsals for that.
Tell me about it.
That was all of the scenes that we had that were on the page. When we started the rehearsals with Richard Linklater and Eric Schlosser and Ethan Hawke was in the movie. And so it was kind of the four of us for
Talking about what they're doing as a collective and what other people are doing or what other people are up to. Fire and Wind.
a couple weeks just sitting in a room for. That was really the first time where I was also like, oh, I can do more than just acting. I can have a say and I can be like, hey, what about this? Or what about this? And that was also a really cool adjustment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can be a little more than just, what do you need me to do?
Talking about what she can and can't do. That's Fire and Wind.
You can decide so much about what ends up on the screen.
Yeah.
Versus just following orders can get you one way, but you want to be a part of the creative process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think those two movies in particular really stand out for me, not even necessarily because of what came out on the screen, but because of the experiences that they were.
It's very movement. Not because of what the end product was like, but because of the process and the creative process. Talking about what she had to do to get to the goal and how fun it was for that, not necessarily the end product.
The Help was super fun.
Yeah.
But that was just a debaucherous time of.
And I mean, it's not lost on me that I'm really proud of the game. Awesome place to start. And I'm really proud of the game. So I hope people like it as much as I do.
How did you?
Really proud of the game. I hope people like it as much as I did. It's Spear and Bow.
How do they get you involved with it? Was it just that your agent like
Between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So I went out for it, and it was the first time where I was in a motion capture room, which that's where they had the audition. And I sort of walked in, and it was this kind of an intimidating room. But
Talking about her experience as Earth and Water. It's Earth, I
It's
guess.
like a blank space with like red lights, right? Like
Yeah,
like,
it's just it's huge, and there are cameras. Like and Neil's kind of talked about this too. Neil Druckmann.
follow him on Twitter.
She seems pretty responding. She hasn't initiated any new topics.
Yes, follow him on Twitter. Where it's sort of, this sounds so cheesy, but I think describe The Last of Us. I mean, it's definitely a post-apocalyptic
Seems pretty affiliative. Haven't seen anything pragmatic.
game, but I feel like it's a lot more than just, your ordinary survival game. And I know, I mean, I might be a bit biased because I work on it, but I got to play it the other day when I went into Naughty Dog. I mean, I don't know if they wanted me to, but I was at Neil's desk and I was like,
I got to play. I don't know if they wanted me to. That's Earth and Water. I did this. I don't know if they wanted me to or they desired to.
I'm gonna play this.
You set development back 4 months.
I know, I was like, what did you do? Yeah, the story is so great, and I think these two characters together, Joel and Ellie, and sort of the journey that they go on it's super intense, and it's sort of weird to see that in a
Talking about progression, the process, the journey.
video game. And I mean, I'm really proud of it. I'm super proud of this game.
Now let's go to Twitter.
Okay.
Talking about what she's proud of, Spear and Bow.
Ladies and gentlemen, you follow me at Game Over Greggy. I tweet who's going to be on the show, like Vulcan salute here.
Yes, me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the other.
So your dad was a ship captain.
Yes. Similar.
Mm-hmm.
Very strongly identified with her.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah,
Why?
at the time.
Why?
Just because she was just like a nerd and
Mhm.
wasn't the popular kid necessarily, but she took like her studying and her work very seriously.
Mhm.
So at least at the time, before I
That's very affiliative. Doing the good and proper thing, and she related to that too. So setting hard and
became
stuff.
Rebellious
a rebellious teen.
teen. You-
Before I became I don't know, anywhere from like 30 to 50.
And then when
Maybe
Troy
not as many
came
as
in,
50.
you were, and you've talked about this, you were like, whoa,
Yeah,
this dude kind of gets it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a process. I mean, there were a lot of people that came in that were super great, but didn't have whatever that was
That
that he
thing.
had.
Yeah.
And
And about the process again, not the end goal. She's not really concerned on the end product.
it was interesting because he was, was younger than a lot of the people that came in. But the guy who came in before him, people would know this actor very well.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm at the
People would know this actor very well. It's Spear and Bow.
point in my life as an actor, it's best to just go for it and you go on impulse and you just see what happens in a scene.
Mhm.
Sometimes
You
it
go on impulse and you see what happens in a scene. That's movement.
works, sometimes it doesn't, but you just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder when he came in. I just automatically didn't like him, so that's my fault in a
No.
way. So I think I was just feisty.
Automatically didn't like him. Spear and Bow.
So in the scene, when we were doing the scene, I can't remember which scene of the game that it is, but you can play anything. I mean, I was playing a 14-year-old girl, and I started the game when I was
It was almost 9 years
You can
ago.
play anything. I started as this Earth and Water.
Did you ever see Lolita?
Okay. I mean, yeah. Nope.
I just wanted to make this room very uncomfortable, and I succeeded.
I wanted to make this room very uncomfortable. Fire and Wind.
I'm keeping it together.
You going to Aspen to hit the slopes
I know, I am
after
very-
this?
I just wanted to wear a cozy.
You look like
since
you're gonna.
it's
You look
raining.
like we're gonna go back to 1986,
Cozy. It's Earth.
and you're gonna bully me, and I'm gonna like it.
We had a Game of Thrones themed birthday party
But
for
it
Troy
was
Baker
like-
at Mary Elizabeth's house. Yeah.
it was
All out.
all out.
Mhm.
I
Laura
was
Bailey doesn't
talking
fuck
to
around.
Liam that night, and he was like, "Hey, do you play D&D?" And I was like, "No, I've never played it." But I was like, my brother did, And I was like, I've always been kind of curious about it. And so we just had a little conversation about it. And that was the first, I mean, the trail of things that happened from Last of Us is so fucking crazy.
Weird, huh?
She's initiated there. I think she's pretty concrete. She doesn't set anything abstract.
The very first home game, because I still didn't know everybody that well.
No, not at all.
I knew Travis and Laura.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Liam because Liam also did a lot of voice directing on Last of Us.
He did. He was, yeah.
He was actually he taught me how you're supposed to sound.
Oh,
when
she's initiated again there. Okay, okay.
you scream when you're catching on fire.
Yes, the proper burning sound.
Yes, and
so he asked that night, but then the game started.
The game started, the very first game that they played, or because I didn't know about the first game.
Yeah.
And then I think Travis or Laura had talked to me and they were like, you gotta come play. And I was like, okay, which at the time, and as you know, was a
huge.
As you know, Spear and Bow.
Huge deal.
I was so excited.
Because I think I was getting a little bit more confident with hanging out with people and you know, just hanging out in general with more than one person. And I was like, okay. But I think I felt somewhat comfortable because it was something that I wanted to do. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go to a party or we're gonna go to a club or not that anything is wrong with those things, but that's not my comfortable zone.
Yeah.
Comfortable zone is earth and water.
I'll have a great time if I go, but you know,
you do.
It's not my comfortable zone.
This was different.
Yeah, and then I ended up going to the second game that they played, and I just remember Matt. I've talked to Matt before, and I was emailing with him, and he's like, "Here's what's left of what you can play. You can play cleric.
What's initiated? Okay, so I'm thinking ESFP or ENFP. All right, let's looking.
What else was left? There was a couple of other things.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I remember you telling me because you were explaining to me the classes.
Like, filled something in me that I feel like nothing has been able to sort of fill that, whatever that is. And it's crazy to say that it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I know, but it's true. Everybody said the same thing in your chair.
Yeah, it's the. I think because it's community based, and I feel like a lot of people in this community and
community based, affiliative. Okay. Spear and Bow. And you know what? I'm gonna take initiative off. She's definitely movement and affiliative. So how about this? How about we go with ESFJ, ISTJ. No, I don't think she's an SJ. ENFP, INFJ. She could be my type, and I could just be typing her as my shadow. I don't see any sword and mace statements though. So I'm gonna have to just go with Spear and Bow. I'm gonna have to go with ENFP. I think she's an ENFP. So I'm gonna check right now to see if she's an ENFP. Okay, so she was actually an ESTJ. So I was right about Spear and Bow, and I was right about her being affiliative. I should have went with I did not know she was controller. She seemed very movement. But I guess her talking about processes in that way in the community and how like everything worked, I guess that was more systematic. Which makes sense because she wasn't really talking about what she was getting out of the situation. So I did end up getting her quadra, right? So I got her cognitive axes, right? And I got the choose initiatives. I got that right. The only thing I got wrong was, I got a lot of things wrong, but I was pretty close still. So making progress little by little. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is not my system that I'm using. It's CS Joseph's system, and I'll have a link to his content down in the description. I'll also link it on the video. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. What else? What else? What else? I got like other videos planned in the future. I won't just be doing this. So, yeah. Thank you for watching.